Well, welcome back, everybody. Got Sam with me today as we wrap up the Tioga Tour at State Park number 3, day number 3 for our little adventure. So if you missed the last 2 episodes here in Tioga County, we checked out the PA Grand Canyon, Colton Point, and Leonard Harrison, and we are wrapping things up here at Hills Creek State Park, just probably half an hour away from the New York border. We're pretty far up north here, and today we're going to be tackling the Lakeside Trail here at Hills Creek State Park. So about 3 miles, should be a good one. The lake is currently frozen over. I don't know how well you can see it there in the distance, but we're going to be heading all the way around this lake today, and then heading back home to western Pennsylvania. So, all right, we're going to hit the trail now. We're heading into this thicket, and we'll show you anything cool along the way. All right, well, as we continue on through this pine thicket that I showed you guys a few minutes ago, stumbled upon this old girl here with literally no fear at all. Obviously pretty habituated to humans. This is probably deer 100 that we've seen so far, and you can see there's 2 more back behind her. So lots of deer in this park, as well as we've seen a lot of birds so far along this trail as well. Woodpeckers, crows, you name it. But we're going to continue on and leave these guys in peace and meander on down towards the lakeshore. But that was cool. We're what, 10 feet away?
Yeah.
Well, we popped out of the woods, and here's our first official look at Hills Creek Lake here, all frozen over for the year. You can see some ice fishermen out there, probably trying to catch some yellow perch, bluegill, or maybe the occasional walleye. And we're trying to figure out if we have to cross across this road or head up along this wood line here. So yeah, just a nice look at one of the side coves here of Hills Creek State Park, and down in the distance there, that's the dam, and we'll actually be crossing that in a couple hours. So pretty cool. All right, just a real quick tree ID. This is one that we don't really see too much down in western Pennsylvania, but I did notice there are a ton of them up here in Tioga County. This is none other than the paper birch, and it gets its name simply because its bark peels away like paper. And you don't really want to do that because that could kill the tree, but just for science, there you are. It's actually really good fire starter. If you could find a downed tree, you can peel off all the loose bark and make kindling out of it. And it isn't the best wood to burn. It seems to be usually always saturated whenever you find it out in the woods. And they use this to build boxes and plywood. So there you are, the paper birch. All right, so right now we are on the Cabin Road, and we're about to cut down towards where the state park campground is. And if you're a little curious about that, there are 102 campsites here. I believe everything from rustic to electric sites, as well as they have 2 modern cabins, one of which we stayed in, and I do have a review on that if you didn't already see that. There are a few smaller cottages, as well as yurts that you can stay in. So a little bit for everybody out here. Just wanted to touch upon that. You can actually see one of the cabins there in the distance. We'll probably be a little closer to them in a short bit. I'll show you a better view. Yeah. Here's a closer look at one of the modern cabins here at Hills Creek State Park. One of 10 of them. And as you can see, this one is literally right along the Lakeside Trail. And they do have running water, bathrooms, a full kitchen, and in my opinion, they are relatively cheap, only about $70 a night to stay in one of these. So just another option for folks out there that maybe don't want to rough it and sleep in a tent. Well, here's a good look at the vacant campground here at Hills Creek. You can see the yellow birch trail is off to our right. There's another trail that we passed called like the Trousers Trail that is named after the pond that is just up this way. But doing a little road hiking to link back up with the Lakeside Trail. Another interesting thing is we will actually be on the Mid-State Trail for about a mile or so today. And if you're not familiar with the Mid-State Trail, it starts at southern Pennsylvania and heads all the way up to the north. Basically just cuts the state in half. It's 300 something miles if I remember right. So yeah, we'll be doing a little bit of hiking on that today. And yeah, a little pan around of the campground here for you. Well, here goes another new ID for the year. I'm not really sure what that is. I think it's a muskrat swimming up to the shoreline. I've only seen one other muskrat before. But the other thing that I read a lot about in this state park is it's known for its beaver colony. And I was just thinking, this definitely looks like a beavery place to be. You can see some of the trees have gnaws on them and whatnot. But yeah, it's either a baby beaver or a muskrat, I believe. We'll try to get a better shot with the iPhone. Cool nonetheless. All right, well, I got the iPhone pretty much fully zoomed in on the little bugger across from me, and we believe it is a muskrat, simply because beavers have their paddle tail that they are, you know, known for. Muskrats have more of like a rat tail basically, and from what we saw, we didn't see a paddle, so we're gonna ID this guy as a muskrat. So new ID for the year. Well, if you wanted to ever see a beaver dam up close and personal, here you are. You can see why they call them nature's architects. Everything at this dam here would have been dragged over, including all the reeds, all the sticks, the stumps. You can see the gnaw marks on the small trees in front of me here. But yeah, pretty impressive. You can see why a lot of people aren't fans of beavers, because they can pretty much destroy landscape and make a swamp out of a small creek. But yeah, cool nonetheless. We'll see if we can run into any more today along the way. But yeah, nice look at a beaver dam. All right, well, here we are at one of the nicer views of Hills Creek Lake that we've run into alongside the Lakeside Trail so far today. This is kind of like the main portion of the lake. You can see tons of ice fishermen out there, a couple shanties as well. Probably fishing for perch or walleye, like I said earlier. But if you want to know a little bit more of the history and whatnot of this park, it was established back in 1953, so relatively newer state park in the grand scheme of things, and it was named after a man named William Hill that settled this area back in the 1820s, one of the first settlers in this area, and they obviously named Hills Creek after him, which in turn, you know, turned into Hills Creek State Park. So a little history about this. The park is somewhat small. It's a little over 400 acres, and the crown jewel of the park, they call it, is obviously the lake here. I think it's about 125 acre Hills Creek Lake. So just taking a little breather here, and we're gonna continue on down the Lakeside Trail. I think we're only maybe a half a mile in at this point, but absolutely beautiful day. It's January 9th, about 32 degrees out, sunny, can't really beat it. So oh, well, here's an even closer look at one of these beaver homes, and as you can see, they pretty much took down an entire tree with them in this case. And if we look down the shoreline, you can see another smaller beaver dam or beaver home or whatever you want to call them. So if I do remember right, I think a lot of these houses have like trap doors underneath for these beaver to escape predators like fishers and humans, and they'll swim up into them, and then in the winter time they'll, you know, spend their time above water obviously and hang out in these top chambers. But yeah, they call them nature's engineers for a reason, or nature's architects. Everything from these wooden homes to the dams that we've seen earlier. And if you look around, they are just chewing down all the trees in this area. All right, well, we are still hiking on the Mid-State Trail / Lakeside Trail. And as you can see, we've gained a little bit of elevation, and you get this nice vantage point of Hills Creek Lake down below. You can see the little ice fishermen dotted all around the lake, and a little bit more history about this area. So I talked a little bit about William Hill and how he was one of the original settlers. Well, years after him, the paint industry actually came to this area. I guess the soil had some different color pigments and whatnot, so this area was heavily mined for the paint industry, getting different pigments and whatnot out of the ground surrounding this area. So I'm not really don't really know too much about the pigment industry, but it was in this area. So a little bit more of the history here at Hills Creek State Park, and we are going to continue on and hike along the Mid-State Trail for probably about another hour or so. Well, as you can see, we have officially made it to the opposite side of the lake here. So we are somewhat in the final stretch of our hike for the day, and we're back in one of these pine thickets again. And I was just telling Sam how much I love areas like this. It almost feels like you're in like Jurassic Park. You can picture a velociraptor popping out of one of these. It's just so wild feeling back here. And right along the banks of the lake still, you can see a couple ice fishermen through the thickets here. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this awesome little thicket here as we proceed on towards the dam. All right, guys, well, we have officially made it to the dam here at Hills Creek. You can see pretty much the lake in its entirety right in front of us here, as well as the spillway. This earthen dam was built back in the 50s. I believe it was like 1953, obviously forming Hills Creek Lake. But yeah, I just wanted to give you this view before we head back to the truck. We probably only got about a quarter of a mile left, so I'll see you back there. All right, guys, well, we are just a few short steps from where our journey began today here at Hills Creek. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This was state park number 23 in my state park series. If you haven't seen any of the other videos, maybe go back and check them out. And this is the final installment of Sam and I's Tioga Tour, where we checked off every single state park here in Tioga County, Pennsylvania. So that's going to wrap things up here from Hills Creek. Highly enjoyed it. Didn't see one other person on the trail today. Seen a ton of wildlife, deer, bird. We've seen a muskrat, beaver dams. Awesome day here in early January. But yeah, enough rambling. If you aren't already, if you're new to this channel, or maybe you didn't subscribe yet, please consider doing that. Hit the bell for some notifications. Leave me a comment. Tell me another state park I should check out, maybe a different state, national park, whatever. And also check me out over on Instagram and Facebook for behind the scenes sneak peeks and some awesome photos along the way. So that's gonna wrap things up here from Tioga County. And me and Sam are gonna make the long drive back to Western Pennsylvania. And yeah, I'll be seeing you next week from another location. I'm not sure where, but yeah. All right, signing out here from Tioga County.